I think we're live. Sorry for the delay. Always technical issues of some kind. And today it was microphone. So I have my old microphone today because my new microphone is apparently not working. So anyway, so here we are. And it appears that I am live. We've got a couple people hopping on. So yay. So I think maybe we are ready to roll today. All right, let me do this one thing while we're waiting. So you can tell that I am seeing some people say that I'm live. Woohoo. So I'm back being a brunette today. And I don't know, like I can't decide. I can't decide. I look at the blonde one and I like it, and I like the dark one. I don't know. I can't decide. So for those of you who are voting, this is number 1. So there's 4. I have 4 hairs to choose from. This is number 1. Last week was number 4. I'm going to cycle through all of them so that we can, so I can get a feel for like what everybody thinks. Lisa is saying, don't decide, switch it up. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm leading. That's like kind of where I'm leading. But then, like the thing is that when you're a personality, people expect like a certain look. And I don't know. I got a bunch of people voting for number 4 from last week. So I don't know. We'll see. Karen says she votes number 4 because she's a blonde. So yeah, so for those of you who are new, number 4 is blonde. So they go from darkest to lightest. So this is the darkest one. And then the next one is a little bit lighter. And then number 3 is it's almost red. It looks like a redhead in real life. I don't think under the cameras it looks as red, but and then number 4 is blonde, which I had never been redheaded or blonde before in my life. I've only ever been like brown. My natural hair is brown, and then I used to, for a period of time, I was dyeing it black. So anyway, I just think the dark hair doesn't look as good at the forehead. Okay. All right. If you say so. Oh my gosh, guys. All right. So anyway, so we've got people hopping on. Enough chit chat. Let me just make sure this. All right. We've got a fair number of people coming on after the holiday. That is not a thing. Okay. So yeah, so I am dragging a little bit today after the holiday. I didn't even do anything. I spent almost the entire day in the pool, which was wonderful and amazing because the weather is perfect pool weather right now. And so that was nice, but I wasn't actually relaxing because I was spending the time strategizing, thinking about our amazing, we have like an amazing thing planned for next year. And I'm in that zone. We talked about whether it was, I don't know if it was this week or last week, I talked about in the Monday Mindset, having time set aside for just thinking and vision and strategizing. And so I was able to do that yesterday in the pool, and just, I wished that I had some waterproof paper so I could write some stuff down. But I was, anyway, so some really cool stuff is happening. Really cool stuff is happening in the world of Fast and Easy QBO. Looking forward to next year. Okay. All right. Gosh, we're getting a lot of number 4s. Let's see. Still number 4s. Interesting. It says So Darla's saying number 4 complements my natural skin tones, which is so interesting. Like, I don't know. I find that interesting. Like, wouldn't your natural hair complement your natural skin tone? I don't know. I'm not a girly girl, guys. The fact that I have to like put all this makeup on and everything is a challenge every week. But anyway, hello. I am Margie Remmers-Davis, creator of the Fast and Easy Way to QuickBooks Online Pro Advisor Certification. And this is our weekly live stream inside of our Facebook group, the QBO Gym Locker Room. So this free Facebook group is where we do hands-on practice using QuickBooks Online. That is all we do. Like, that is our main focus here, is hands-on practice, hands-on practice, hands-on practice. So when you join the QBO Gym Locker Room, you automatically get access to our free Getting Started course. This course is going to teach you all of the basics. It's going to teach you how to get your free QuickBooks Online accountant account. That's different than a regular QBO account that business owners use. So you get your free QuickBooks Online accountant account. We're going to teach you how to navigate that account, some terminology, basic terminology, where to find things, basic things. You're going to learn how to access the sample company, which is where we do most of our exercises. And then, of course, you're going to have some hands-on exercises to reinforce the things that you just learned in that, in that kind of orientation. So I just got distracted for a second. So what was I saying? Oh, okay. So that's the Getting Started course. Also, as part of the locker room, you have access to over 100 free exercises. And people are always asking me, where do I find the exercises? And the way that you find them is that they are in the featured section. Okay. So you might have to go to a tab here. If you're on your phone, you might have to hit the little hamburger up in the upper left-hand corner. But you should see this featured section, and there is a post right here that says, welcome to the locker room. You also received an email with this same information and all of the links and all of that stuff. So if you did not get, when you joined the locker room, we do require that you provide your email address, and that is for a very important reason, as we want to keep you updated on all of the things going on. So, for example, I send an agenda every week about the live stream, and it has all of the links and all of the good stuff that you need to know. Okay. So, and then it also has your link to your free exercises. Okay. So, we have over 100 free exercises. That's where you find them. Also, as a member of the locker room, you get a free exercise of the week, which you have access to when you join our weekly live stream. So this live stream happens every Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern. And you, by being a member of the locker room, if you're on with me live right now, you are already in the locker room. But this whole spiel that I'm giving is for the people who are on YouTube, who find us on YouTube and, may want to join with us, because this is how you get the link to the exercise that we're going to be working on. The exercise of the week comes from our subscription product. So you get over 100 exercises for free just by being in the locker room. But we also have a subscription product called the QBO Gym. And the QBO Gym is, like Joel just put in the chat, it's like a flight simulator, but for bookkeepers. This is an opportunity. We heard so much people saying, okay, well, I got my certification or I know QBO, but I don't feel like I'm ready to go out and be a bookkeeper because I don't know anything. I haven't actually been a bookkeeper before. And we see people all the time posting, how can I volunteer to be a bookkeeper? Can I sit with you and show you, oversee over your shoulder, like how you actually do that? Well, that's what the QBO Gym is. The QBO Gym is a simulated environment. So you go in the simulation and you actually get to be a bookkeeper for a fictitious business owner, and you're going to work with him for an entire year. And it's broken down by months, and all during the year, all sorts of things happen to Craig and his business, and you have to deal with the books. You have to record transactions and reconcile bank accounts and run reports, so anyway, that's the QBO gym. Everything that you do in the QBO gym is tracked in your BooksMatch account. Okay, so BooksMatch is the dashboard that comes with all of the Fast and Easy QBO courses. Even like your free Getting Started course, you have BooksMatch. This is your main login where you go to access your courses. But if you are in the paid QBO gym, then you will everything that you do in the gym is tracked. And the reason that we started tracking it is because we realized that as you were going through the gym and learning all of these skills and verifying that you had all of these skills, that it would be super attractive to potential people who would want to hire you. So whether that is recruiting firms looking to hire at you as an employee in their company, whether that is an accounting firm that needs extra bodies to help service their clients, or whether that is small business owners who are looking for a bookkeeper. If they are just getting resumes, then all that proves is, that you can write a resume. It doesn't mean you can actually do anything. If you have a certification, all that means is that you know how to pass a test. So this is actually verifying that you have the skills to actually be a bookkeeper, and this makes you very attractive to people who are potentially hiring bookkeepers. So on BooksMatch, we are tracking every exercise is coded with skills. Okay. There's one or more skills that you are doing for every exercise, and those are arranged by skill group. So you can see in an individual skill group, it'll put over here, you can drill down to see the specifics of that. You can see how well you are doing compared to other people in the pool. We use all of this information, and while you're doing all of this information, we're tracking 3 very specific metrics. One is your knowledge. This is your the breadth of knowledge that you have earned while you are going through the gym. All of the things that you have been exposed to, okay? So these are your knowledge points. Then we are also tracking your consistency. The consistency is how frequently you are going in and actually upskilling. This metric was specifically requested by a recruiter who told us that one of the most frustrating parts of her job was reaching out to people who were actually no longer working. And so she actually wanted a thing where you would have to go in every week and just mark, yes, I'm still looking, yes, I'm still available, I'm still open to work, right? And so we said, well, every week is a little bit much. So what we will do, though, is we will do every 2 weeks. And instead of you just checking to say, yes, I'm still looking, I'm still available for work, we're actually going to give you an exercise to do so that you can make sure that your consistency is high. The third metric that we track is your speed. Now, speed does not reflect how quickly you do the exercises, but how many exercises you do in a 7-day period, okay? So, and the reason that we track this metric is because we want to make sure that you that you are not penalized if you're brand new, okay? So if you're brand new, I'm sorry, if you've been around for a long time, you've gone through all of the exercise. You've like filled all of you've done all of the skills, verified all of the skills. Okay. Well, somebody who's brand new is going to be way behind. Who is this person? Kay. I pulled up Kay. When you first starting out, you're not going to have 345 skill points. Okay. But what you can do is you can verify, continue to verify skills. And we're going to use this metric also to reward you. We use these 3 metrics to rank you in these different categories, okay? And exceptional talent is the highest. When when somebody from one of those 3 buckets that I mentioned, so a recruiter looking to fill an employee position at a company, an accounting firm looking for help fulfilling, helping with their existing clients, or a small business owner, when they log in, they have what's called a talent finder, and they can see how you are ranked. And these are all of the people who are exceptional talent. This is a person who is considered a top talent because their speed isn't high. It's just average. But this is still a really, really good rank. The higher your knowledge, the slower you're necessarily going to be, because there's going to be less for you to do. Okay. I mentioned in the newsletter that in the newsletter that came out this morning, I mentioned, oh no, not this one, last week, and I mentioned about your QBO certs. So as part of BooksMatch, you can upload your certifications for the recruiters to view, and those certifications are not part of they're not part of one of the metrics. Okay, so you're treated equally no matter what certifications you have. However, you can see that it's listed right here on the main page. So Maria has 1 certification out of 3. It doesn't look as good as Kay here, who has 3 out of 3. So if you have earned those certifications, make sure that you upload them. So just so that when people are looking at you, it's not jarring if it's different. Okay. All right. So that's enough about that. Let's get on to the exercise of the week. As I mentioned, the entire purpose of the exercise of the week is to help you keep your consistency high. Okay. If you are just starting out, you have tons and tons and tons of skills available. And so we don't actually give you the exercise of the week for the first little bit, because there's other stuff for you to work on. But we do, after you have earned 250 points, then we open up the exercise of the week, and it is actually a separate course. Okay. Inside the exercise of the week, we have right here, I'll make it a little bit bigger. Okay, so here is the week the exercise that we're doing today. And if you're not a member of the gym, then Joel's going to post it in the chat so that you can follow along. Tracy says, Joel, glad you survived being shot. Just for context, the shot was the medicine, not like a bullet or anything. or anything. So, all right, so we're going to go ahead and get started. Joel, if you could post the exercise in the chat. So Joel has posted it in the chat. If you are a member of the gym and you have earned 250 points, you have the exercise of the week, you only get that BooksMatch credit if you do it inside of the exercise of the week, not if you do it if you can't use the link that Joel posted. The link that Joel posted is for everybody else that doesn't have the gym or hasn't earned 250 points yet. Okay. So, Melissa is asking, how do we become a member of the gym? Is there a monthly fee or a yearly fee? You can do either. You can sign up for the whole year at once and save money, or you can pay monthly. And Joel, if you could post that in the not the Gym 5. The Gym 5 is the challenge. So we do have like a try before you buy kind of challenge thing. That's the link that Joel put in previously. But if you want to sign up for the gym, you can also go to fastandeasyqbo.com and just use the link there. But anyway, you can find out more about it there. Okay, but let's get on to actually exercising, okay? All right, so here is our exercise of the week, and we are going to be talking about recording a deposit. Now, last week, did I remember to log in? Yeah, I did. Okay, good. So let me just take this off for a minute. Okay. Last week, we talked about the workflow of receiving payments. Okay, so when you receive, so you send out an invoice and you receive a payment. Okay, we talked about how to record that. And we, thank you, Joel, for the link. So we talked about how to record that in QuickBooks Online. Okay, and it is two, if you're getting checks or cash, it is 2 steps. Okay, so if it's cash or check, typically it's not going to go into the bank immediately, right? It's going to be in your hand, right? It's going to be in your hand. It's going to be in the cash drawer or the envelope or the blue bag or whatever, right? So it's in this temporary space. And that temporary space is what we call undeposited funds, or in some accounts, it's called payments to deposit. Okay, so it's money that needs to go to the bank. Now, the exercise last week did not actually go through the step of depositing the money, but we did it together just so that you could see, because I felt like Intuit left you hanging. Okay, so now we're going to take that just a little step further and say, well, what if you have money that is not, that money that comes in that's not associated with an invoice? Okay, so that's what we're going to be talking about today. And this exercise, so here is our exercise. This exercise is a Pro Advisor challenge. So what that means is that this exercise actually comes from Intuit inside your QBOA account. Okay, they're in the training that they provide. There are a few. They're just a handful of these, what they call challenges, which is, they're kind of like exercises, kind of an opportunity for you to like do the thing that they just taught you, So to find the exercise, we have a little block here on all of these exercises. By the way, we are spending the first half of this year going through all of these Pro Advisor challenges, and then and we only have a handful of them left. And then once we're done, we will move on to other things, some like requests. We had a request this week of what to do for insufficient funds, like how you handle a bounce check. So that might be the first one that we do that's not a Pro Advisor challenge. So we'll see. But then we'll start, like, we have a process of deciding which ones, we're going to cover. So anyway, but for now, we're just doing all of the Pro Advisor challenges, okay? So here's how you find these challenges if you want to do the original that is inside your Intuit account, okay? So you're going to be logged into QuickBooks Online, your accountant account, and then you're going to go on the left navigation bar, hover over Pro Advisor, and click Training. That'll put you in the Training Center. Then you're going to go to the Training Library tab. So let's see what that looks like. Okay, so here I am in my QBO account. That's the accountant account. I know that I'm an accountant account because it says accountant up here on the left-hand side, because the bar here is gray, and because it's divided up into your practice and your books. Okay, so all of those together, those things together, that's how you know that you're in an accountant account. So when you're in an accountant account, you have this area called Pro Advisor. And if you go here, you select training, and you'll notice that there are these 4 sections. Okay, so this is just kind of the home page. The personalized path allows you to kind of tell it what your goals are, and it will feed you training based on those goals. The certification hub is where you actually take the certification test. And the training library is all of the training that they have available, all of it. Okay, so it's divided up into, the first section is product training. And under product training, QuickBooks Online is one of the products. So you'll notice that it's kind of opened up here already. I'm going to close it, and you can see that there is other training there. So not just QuickBooks Online, but also payments, payroll, and time, plus these other things, other foundational skills, advising clients, tax training, etc. Okay, so our focus is on QuickBooks Online, and you'll notice that there are these different tiles, and each of these tiles represents a kind of like a module of training. So let me go back to the exercise. So here it says we clicked on the training tab. Oh, you're not seeing that. We clicked on the training library tab. Then we were in QuickBooks Online. It was already expanded for us. So this training is going to be on the banking tile. Okay, so let's go to the banking tile. So that is right here. So I'm going to click banking. My little highlighter doesn't like to follow me here. And then you'll notice that the training is divided up. I'm going to close this up into beginner, intermediate, and advanced skills. Some of them have only beginner and intermediate. Some of them have only intermediate and advanced. Some of them have all 3. But this is kind of how Intuit groups the training. I don't know how they decide how it follows in each one. But the intermediate training is all of the things that you need for if you want to take the basic level certification. Okay, so if I hover over this little icon, you'll notice that it says tested in the QuickBooks Online exam. That's the Pro Advisor basic level, or what they call the core certification. Then in the advanced skills, if I hover over the icon, it says tested in the advanced QuickBooks Online exam. Okay, so these are the advanced skills tested there. Okay, so this particular exercise that we're doing is an intermediate skill. So we're going to go back to the intermediate right here. Okay, and then you'll notice that there are different lessons. And right here we have, so we're going to be doing the number 7, recording deposit transactions. Okay. So we have, there it is, number 7, recording deposit transactions. That's where we're going to find this exercise. So once we're inside the exercise, you'll notice on the right-hand side some navigation, and here is Pro Advisor Challenge. Sometimes when I click on it, it takes me right to it. Other times it won't. And that is because sometimes they have things like knowledge checks or other navigation things that you have to do. Here's an example. See how this training has 2 different tabs. So I'm required to go to the other tab. I'm required to go to this tab before I can scroll through. That's why this button is gray. So I'm going to click continue to next tab. Okay, and by doing that, now I can keep scrolling. Okay. And now here's a knowledge check. Let's see if we know the answer to this. Oh, this is what's so frustrating to me, guys. It's so frustrating to me that they have knowledge checks before they have, and you're expected to know something before you actually do it. Oh my gosh, this drives me bonkers. So we're going to go through this exercise and we're going to talk about add funds to this deposit. But now we have to go through a knowledge check before we actually do the exercise. All right. Which I guess if we had gone through their training, maybe we could answer this question. But still, I am so passionate about hands-on exercises that it just frustrates me to no end when you're expected to know something before you actually do it. Okay. All right. So in which of these situations would you use the add funds to this deposit grid? Select all that apply. Okay. So your client receives a payment from a customer, but it's not a check. No, you would not use it then. Your client receives a tax refund from the IRS. Yes, you're going to use add funds to this deposit when it's money coming in that's not associated with a particular invoice. And the next one is your client receives a cash back payment from a vendor for ordering in bulk. Yes, probably. And your client receives a gift certificate from a customer. No. All right, let's check this answer. Woohoo! It's always embarrassing when I get these and I get them wrong live on camera. So I'm glad that I got this one right. Okay. All right. So here is our Pro Advisor Challenge. And the task right here is what we call the scenario. Okay. So in this situation, here's what they want us to do. Your client, Craig, needs some help to record a deposit transaction for a refund he's received. Okay, let me read this again. Your client, Craig, needs some help to record a deposit transaction for a refund he's received and for any other items in his bank deposit screen. Okay, well, what does that mean? Here's the details. We'll get to those later. And then here's what you need to do. Create a deposit transaction for the refund from his insurance company. Deposit anything else in Craig's bank deposit screen. Okay, so they do not tell you step by step how to do it. They just expect you to do it based on what they've taught you already. And so then they give you this little how did you do, and here's how to check your work. Okay, so here's how to check your work. And then if for some reason your work isn't correct, then you can look at their solution, which is the step-by-steps, but it doesn't include pictures or anything. And then sometimes there's a little having trouble, and they'll give you some tips for if you did things wrong. Okay, so we prefer our signature format. We find that easier to follow along with, and so that's what we are going to do today. So instead of doing this, we are going to follow along our own challenge, right? Our own version of this, okay? Now, in order to do this exercise, we're going to need to load up the sample company. So to load the sample company inside your QBO account, you're going to click this little gear icon. They have recently started calling this the settings cog. So you might see people saying settings cog more and more. So, but forever people have referred to it as the gear icon. And then you're going to click sample company. Now, when you click sample company, it's going to close out your QBO account when it opens up the sample company. This is very important when you are taking the test. If you are taking the test, either any of the certification tests, it is an open book test, but you don't want to open the sample company while you're taking the test because you will lose the test. Okay, so we'll teach you how to have both open at the same time in our courses, but just for purposes today, just know, like, don't do this while you're taking a test, okay? All right, so you're going to click continue so that we are in the sample company. And here we are in Craig's Design and Landscaping Services. This is our customer. And then you can tell we're no longer in the accountant account because now, look, it says into a QuickBooks. It's a black bar. It's not divided up the same way it was. And we're actually looking at Craig's books as the accountant, and you can tell that because it says accountant tools. So we're looking at his account, but we are still the accountant on his account. Okay, so here we are. We've loaded up Craig's landscaping. Once I have loaded the sample company, if I have, so this our exercises, we use a product called Scribe, and you can get an extension on, if you're using Google Chrome, you can see it right here. It's called Scribe AI Documentation, SOPs, and whatever it's screenshots, I think it is. Okay, so if you load this extension in Google Chrome, then when you're doing an exercise, you'll have this little button that says Guide Me, and you click that. If you have the sample company open and you click Guide Me, it will put the sample company and the exercise side by side. Okay, so this is, for years, we used to have to flip back and forth between the sample company and the exercise, and now we don't have to do that anymore. Okay, so that is, so that's that little tip. Okay, so here we are, and we're now going to do, I'm going to make this just a little bigger. Unfortunately, I can't make this text bigger for you. I can only make this text bigger. So hopefully you have it. You've clicked the link either in the exercise of the week or in the link that Joel shared. So let me just back up and just kind of remind us of what we did last week. Okay, so last week we received a check, we applied it to an invoice, and then it sat in undeposited funds. Okay, so when I go to plus new, keep clicking the wrong thing, plus new right here, and then I select bank deposit, Tracy is asking if Scribe works with any other browser. It works with Brave and Chrome. I don't know anything about Firefox, and I have Safari, but I haven't tried to load it on Safari, so I don't know. But Brave and Chrome for sure, and it's native for Chrome. So, all right. So here is the if I go to create a bank deposit, right here there are already 2 payments that are in undeposited funds. How do I know that they're in undeposited funds? Because when I hit bank deposit, they're listed there. So if I actually go to, let's take a look at this payment from Cool Cars. So I'm going to click Cool Cars, and I'm going to make this tinier just so you can see it. Okay, so this is the received payment. This is what we went over last week. Okay, so I don't want you to get lost. This is what we went over last week. We created a payment. We marked that the payment was for this invoice. And then right here, we said we're depositing it to undeposited funds. That's that envelope or that drawer or that whatever, that zipper bag, right? It's that thing that where you're putting your cash and checks before you take them to the bank. Okay, it's a temporary holding spot. Okay, so when you go to do a bank deposit, it will automatically tell you what is currently in that temporary spot. Okay, and our exercise is going to have us deposit that as well as something new that came in that's not associated with an invoice. Let me show you this again. Cool Cars, This is a receive payment for this invoice right here, okay? Well, what if you get money that's not associated with an invoice? What do you do, okay? And that's what we're talking about today in this exercise, okay? So I'm going to exit out of this. I'm going to exit out of this. That was just a refresher from last week. Let's get back to our actual exercise for today, okay? All right, so here again is the exercise with all of the details, okay? So your client, Craig, needs some help to record a deposit transaction for a refund he's received, okay? So he's received a refund for something, okay? We'll find out in a second. That's one way, that's one type of money that comes in that is not associated with a particular invoice. Another thing might be a loan, okay? So they go out, they get a loan, they get the check from the loan, and it's not associated with a particular customer, so what do they do with it? Maybe they get a refund check from the IRS. What do they do with it? Maybe they were at the Chamber of Commerce and they won the 50-50. What do they do? Like, how do you record that if it's not associated with an invoice that came in, okay? Or if it's not associated with something you sold? Well, that's what we're talking about, okay? So in this case, this example, it's a refund, okay? So he's received a refund, but then he also wants to deposit any other items in the bank deposit screen. This is not written well. I would not have written it this way. These are Intuit's words. The bank, in his bank deposit screen, what does that mean? It means undeposited funds, okay? Undeposited funds or payments to deposit, okay? All right, so here's what you need to know about the refund. It's from Fidelity, which is his insurance company, okay? The check number is 5487. Now, whenever we're talking about check numbers, just remember, like, there's checks that you receive and there's checks that you pay, okay? So this can be confusing to people because there is a transaction, and we went over this in detail a couple of weeks ago. This was another Pro Advisor challenge. We talked about this right here, this transaction called a check transaction. This can be very confusing because I have this check from Fidelity, and so as a small business owner, I think, well, here's a check, and that it says check, so maybe I'm supposed to do it that way. No, that's not what we're doing, okay? So, all right, we're going back to reading this, okay? So in this case, this is a check that we received, not a check that we are writing, okay? The amount is $30. Only $30, come on. Anyway, so the amount is $30. We're going to deposit it into the checking account, okay? And this, because Fidelity is our insurance company, we're going to track that in the insurance expense account. This is important. It's an expense account. Expenses are things that you pay out, right? But this is a refund, and so it's not going to be categorized against, this is not a sales income, okay? This is just a reduction of the expense. So we're going to put it record it against that account, okay? So here's what we need to do. We're going to create a deposit transaction for the refund. We're going to deposit anything else in Craig's bank deposit screen. Okay, so here's what we're doing. Here we go. The actual hands-on stuff. Click the plus new button and select bank deposit. Okay, so right here. Okay, now confirm that the account field says checking. This is really important. Which account is this money going into? Okay, this money is going into the checking account. Okay, now the date would normally be the date that the person deposited it. For our purposes, we're just going to leave it as today. you'll find that all of our exercises are date agnostic. We try and do everything so that you don't have to actually type in actual dates, because the sample company is always changing. It's always updating. So the dates in the sample company are always changing. So our exercises aren't going to have specific dates. Okay. So we're just going to leave that as that, but in the future, just remember, and when you're doing it in real life, you want to make sure the dates are accurate. Okay. So we already said we want to include the payments that are sitting waiting to be deposited. So he's going to deposit the check from Fidelity. He's also going to deposit these other checks that have come in. Okay. So this is Cool Cars and Freeman Sporting Goods. And we are going to, here we are in step 3, click the checkbox at the top of the transactions list to select both. So if you're brand new, if we just select one, it's like that. But if we select this checkbox at the top, it gets both of them. Okay. And now it's telling you the total. It's up here, and it's also right down here what the total is of the deposit so far. Okay. But we're not just depositing these checks. We also have to deposit that check from Fidelity. Okay. So let's see. So now it says, next we need to add the $30 refund from Fidelity. This needs to be done in the add funds to this deposit section. Okay, so that is this part down here. Okay, so the top part is the checks that are in undeposited funds that are waiting. Okay, and then anything else that's not related to an invoice, that's what goes here. Okay, now business owners, if you were in the cleanup course, you know, because you have done, especially in the final project, like business owners do not understand this. Okay, so we want to make sure you understand it. And if you're in the cleanup course, you know that there's just a ton of mistakes in here that you have to clean up. So you want to make sure that you understand what's happening here. Okay, this is the money that is not associated with a customer. Okay, so it is receipt. Who did it come from? It came from Fidelity. Okay, Fidelity. We're on step 4. Okay. The account is going to be the account that we paid Fidelity from in the first place. So before you do this, you might have to look up what that is. If you're the bookkeeper, you're typically going to know, what the accounts are. But if you're new, you get a refund, you're like, well, I don't know, what do we usually use Fidelity for? Remember, this is reducing the expense that we've already paid out to them. That's what a refund is. Okay. Well, we know from the exercise that it is insurance. Okay. If I can type. Okay. So insurance. Alrighty, so we are going to, the exercise doesn't say this. Again, this exercise came from Intuit. I would write in the description, refund, so we know what it is. And then for the payment method, we're going to say that it's a check that came in. For the reference number, this is the check number. 5487. Remember, that's their check number. You really only have that in case you need to talk to Fidelity about it. Okay. And then what's the amount? The amount is $30. Okay. So that's step 8. Okay. So right here, because this is the first one that I've done, it's going to assume that I want to do some more, but I don't. I'm just going to hit this little arrow and select Save and Close. Okay. And that is the end of that exercise. Okay. All right, so let's go back and I'm going to look I want to show you just the register, what just happened. So I'm going to go to the chart of accounts. I could go to a different way, but I'm going to go to the chart of accounts and I'm going to go to the checking account and view the register. Okay, so we can see what just happened. Okay, so I just recorded a deposit for $2,092.52. Later, when I'm processing bank feeds, I should expect to see in the bank feeds a deposit for $2,092.52 that I can match. I am matching to that full total deposit because the bank, they don't know what those individual ones are. We talked last week about mobile deposits. If you're doing a mobile deposit, you're doing one at a time, right? And that's what's going to show up on the bank. But if you're actually physically going to the bank and taking all three of those checks, all you're going to see on the bank statement is the total. So this is the amount that you're going to match to later in the bank feeds, okay? I can click here on split, or just click the thing and click edit, and I can open up that bank deposit and see, okay, what did that $2,092.52, what was that made up of? And I can see, oh, it's made up of these two checks, which were linked back to the invoices, and it's also linked back to this refund that I received from Fidelity. Okay. All right. Now, let me see. I don't have any questions about that so far. Excellent. All right. So now that you have you've done this and we've talked about this, you can, one of the things that we provide you in both the gym and the exercise of the week is a marketing prompt. Okay, so now that we've talked about this, we can go back and we can look and see what today's marketing prompt is. The reason we have marketing prompts is because we had so many people who were saying, oh, I know that I need to market my business on social media, but I don't know what to say. And so that's why we have marketing prompts to give you ideas of what to say. So I'm going to put pause on that for just a minute and ask and answer, is it Yui? I don't know, I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correctly. Yui asked, if there was a direct refund through the bank feed, how will the workflow be? Okay, so if there is a refund through the bank feed, which let's take a look at it. There is one actually. So we're going to go back. I'm going to go to the bank feed. And there are actually two refunds in here, but let's just address the one, which is this one, Books by Bessie. Okay, so Books by Bessie is we've received a refund. The way that I know that it's a refund, so here it says we've just received $55. There's no suggested category because QBO doesn't know what to do with it. But I personally know, because I am the bookkeeper, or I'm like the accountant looking at this, I know that Books by Bessie is my bookkeeper. And so for some reason, and I probably know, at least the business owner will know, like, what the reason of this. Maybe one of the stories we like to tell in the gym is that, you've replaced Bessie. Bessie wasn't very good, and so you replaced her, and so she's giving you a refund, because you had overpaid her. Okay, so what you would do is you would open this up, and just like with Fidelity, the money had to go back to whatever account was used for Fidelity. So we determined that was insurance, right? And insurance, so this is going back to the expense account that was initially paid. The same is true for Bessie. What account did we use? Not payment account, but what category did we use for the Books by Bessie transactions? Well, we probably used the bookkeeping one. So here is the bookkeeper account, and so it's going to go right back. So when I click add, this is actually going to, by my clicking add, this is going to create a deposit that looks just like that Fidelity Insurance one. Okay, so if I click add, now let's go back and look at it. I'm going to go to categorized. And here is the one. Look, it created a deposit. Okay, look, it created a deposit. So I'm going to click here. I'm going to open it up. Look, it's a bank deposit, and it has this add funds to this deposit. It looks identical to the one we just created with Fidelity Insurance. So yes. So, oh, honey, I don't know how to pronounce your name. Chitil? So, okay, first I have to turn that one off, then I turn this one on. Okay. Oh, and now you can't see it. Oh, shoot. How do I make that bigger so you can see? Darn it. Sorry. I don't know what I'm doing here. Okay. But Chitil, if that's correct, is asking, can you add funds in bank deposits like this if there are no other deposits to deposit, but you have to add that refund? Yes, that is exactly how you would do it. So let me go back to, so this is the one we just created for Books by Bessie with that refund from the bank feed. Okay, now we already deposited those 2 checks that were in undeposited funds. So there are no checks currently in undeposited funds. And this is how you would go to bank deposit. There, it's not even there. It's only showing add funds to this deposit because there's nothing in undeposited funds right now. So this is exactly how you would do it. Okay. All right. Great question. All right. Any other questions about the actual exercise before I go on to the marketing prompt? Let me set this up. All right. There's a little bit of a delay between when you guys are typing and when I see it. So hopefully we're all good. Hopefully we're all good. Let's go back to the marketing prompt. Okay. All right. So everyone, what I kept hearing was, I know I'm supposed to post on social media, but I don't know how to. Claire, I will answer your question in a minute. But I don't know what to post, and so that's why we created these marketing posts, these marketing prompts, and you earn them as you're going through the gym. You earn marketing prompts, and also in the exercise of the week, you earn marketing prompts. So I'm going to go through how to actually use them here, but I'm going to answer Claire's question real quick, which is, how do you switch back from sample company to accountant account? Unfortunately, you have to log out. So in here, you have to go to your little initial up. Oh, you can't see that. Hold on. Up here, your little initial. Okay. And then you sign out, and then you have to sign back in as you. There's no way to switch like you can if it's a regular thing. Okay. Alrighty. So this is our marketing prompt for today. Okay. You learned about recording deposits. Here is a sample post. Hey, business owner, when you get money for selling your product and services, it's pretty easy to record it in QuickBooks Online. But what do you do with money that's not associated with a sale? Don't worry, I've got you. Let's get together and I'll show you. It couldn't be simpler. Okay? All right. So let's see how you can actually use these marketing prompts. Okay. Now am I showing this right? Okay. Yeah. So we are not a marketing company, and we will never be a marketing company. We will never be a marketing company. But because we get this request so much, we do promote one method for marketing your business. And this method comes to us from a company called Bold House. And they have let us, we use it with their permission, and we have adapted it for you guys. And they promote, or they teach something called the 3-2-1 method. Okay, so this is the only thing. Don't ask me about running Facebook ads and like whatever. Okay, this is the only thing that I know is this 3-2-1 method. And so this is how it works. 3 times per day, you are going to directly reach out to specific people. Okay, so this could be via email, DM, text, phone call, whatever it is, but you're going to reach out to 3 specific people. Okay, this is not posting a flyer in your apartment lobby. This is not sending an email to everyone you know. This is not like posting on social media. This is directly reaching out to 3 people that you know, and you are simply going to say to them, hey, I'm a QuickBooks Online Pro Advisor. Who do you know that I could connect with? That's all it is. You are not selling your services. Chances are these 3 people are not potential clients, okay? They probably, this is not, Amway where everyone uses soap, okay? So you are only looking for small business owners that use QuickBooks Online. That's all you're doing, okay? So all you're doing is you're saying, hey, I'm a QuickBooks Online Pro Advisor. And by the way, if you are not a QuickBooks Online Pro Advisor, become one right now. It's so easy. You can take our course. You can get your certification in about 5 hours. You can do it 5 hours is the course. That doesn't include test taking time, but you can easily knock it out in a weekend and become a QuickBooks Online Pro Advisor. Okay. So you're going to say, hey, I'm a new pro advisor. Who do you know that I could connect with? And basically you're just trying to get introductions to potential clients. And so of that activity, you're going to do that 3 times per day. That means you're going to have reached out to a total of 15 people in a week. And of those 15 people, some of them are going to say, yeah, I don't know anyone. And some of them are going to say, oh, I know tons of people. Okay. Just yesterday, I was at the gym and I was talking to the receptionist on the way out, and she said, oh, what do you do? And I said, I teach QuickBooks Online. And she's like, oh my gosh, I know 2 people I should introduce you to like right now. Like that's how easy it is. That's how easy it is. So anyway, so you can do the same thing. It's not hard. Okay. So now of those people, the goal then is to twice a week of the 15 people who are going to reach out, to make introductions on your behalf. Your goal is that 2 times per week, you are actually connecting to potential clients. Remember that first group of people, they're not potential clients. You're just growing your network and trying to meet, okay, who are the people that are potential clients, okay? So once you have been introduced to a potential client, you're simply going to say, hey, I'm a QuickBooks Online Pro Advisor. I would love to stay connected in case you need any help. Okay, notice what you're not doing here. You are not selling your services at this point. These people don't know you. Like, why would they? Bookkeeping is a very high trust job, okay? They're not going to just like turn over their money to a total stranger. Like, that's not what this is. So do not try and sell your services to them. Do not say, hey, hire me to be your bookkeeper, or, oh, hey, can I, do a diagnostic review? No. All you're doing at this point is you are connecting with them. Okay. So you're going to connect with this person on LinkedIn. You can use another social media thing of your choice. LinkedIn is typically where business happens, but I know in different areas of the country, some people use different things. Like when I lived in Utah, nobody used LinkedIn. So whatever your area, but we tend to focus on LinkedIn. And you want to make sure that your profile on LinkedIn says, your byline says you are a QuickBooks Online Pro Advisor. Okay, don't say QBO. No one knows what that means. You want it to say QuickBooks Online Pro Advisor. Okay, so the reason that you want it to say that is because you want always people to remember that that's what you do. Okay, always remember, you want them just always to have in their brain that that's what you do, because when the time comes that they need you, you want to be the one that they reach out to. Okay, so you are going to always keep yourselves top of mind for them, not in a bugging kind of way, just in a very subtle way. Okay, so here is where you're going to, a couple of times a week, you're going to post on social media, and this is why we have the marketing prompts. So you can use our marketing prompts. You can use them as is. You can, we have a ton of people who take them and put them into a pretty picture in Canva. We have one person who puts it in ChatGPT to write a full article on the topic. Whatever, it doesn't matter. You're going to post it on LinkedIn, this little marketing prompt. Now, I want to tell you that the goal of this marketing prompt is not for them to ask for help on that specific thing. Okay, so today maybe you're going to put in that one about recording a deposit, but don't expect 20 people to flock to you and ask about recording a deposit. Okay, that's not the goal of this. Even though you always want to make sure you have a call to action, and you're like, hey, contact me, etc. That's not the goal. The goal is just to remain in people's consciousness. The other way that you remain in people's consciousness is to like and comment on their posts. This is one of the beautiful things about having your byline say you're a QuickBooks Online Pro Advisor, is because whenever you like and comment on somebody, it always says your byline, not just your name. Now, when you're commenting on somebody, when you're commenting on a post, please, you are not selling your services when you are commenting on a post. You're not seeing a picture of their kid playing baseball and saying, hey, I would love to be your bookkeeper. No, be a normal, natural human being, okay? And reply with a normal, natural thing. So if the kid is playing baseball, you say, hey, great stance. I hope he hits a home run, right? Whatever, you're commenting on whatever their post is. Whatever their post is, you're being a normal, natural human being. Your goal at this point is still not to sell your services. Your goal is to help them remember that you are a QuickBooks Online Pro Advisor. In general, you are just waving your flag constantly so that people can see, okay? One example I always use is, how many realtors do you know, okay? The reason you know who the realtors are is because the realtors are constantly telling you they are a realtor. They're constantly telling you. How often do you buy or sell a house? Maybe once a decade? I mean, unless you're in the military or something, typically people don't buy and sell houses all the time. And yet, they are still like constantly reminding you, oh, when the time comes, oh, when the time comes, or oh, if you know anybody, whatever. Okay. So basically you are waving your flag so that you remind them that that's what you do. And then by that, you are helping them know, like, and trust you. Again, this is a high trust job. So we want to make sure that you are behaving in a way that makes them want to do business with you. Okay? All right. Now, out of all of that activity, your goal is once per month to do a diagnostic review. Now, again, this is a minimum, but you should be at least once a month doing a diagnostic review, okay? And you're going to land that diagnostic review by saying, I am a QuickBooks Online Pro Advisor. Would you like me to look at your books and see how you're doing? Okay? Very simple. Okay? Very simple. Maybe they're fine, You could say, oh, I just want to see how you're doing. Now, if you don't know how to do a diagnostic review, we teach that as part of our cleanup course. Okay, so you can get the cleanup course. You can learn how to do a thorough diagnostic review. You can learn how to price your services, price for the cleanup, and land the client and present your findings in a way that they're going to sign up. Okay, Corey, who is our Corey Jankowski, who is our instructor for that course, her sign-up rate is almost 100% because of the way that she teaches you how to share your findings. Now, if you are not ready for the cleanup course is an advanced course, so maybe you're not ready for it. There are a ton of other resources available out there to help you learn how to do a free consultation, to do a diagnostic review or whatever, okay? If you're in the cleanup course and you are reaching out to people, again, you're reaching out to the people who you have developed some kind of a rapport with, right? They know who you are because they've seen your activity on their feed, right? You've been posting stuff, okay? So those are the people that you're going to reach out to and say, hey, would you like me to see how you're doing? Okay. You could, if you're in the cleanup course, you could also add, hey, I just finished a course on diagnostic reviews and I would love some practice. Okay. All right. And that is the 3-2-1 method. Now I'm going to close that because otherwise I cannot see. When I do that spiel, when I do that spiel, I can't see you guys at all. I can't see the chat. So if you ask questions in the middle of it, I should probably preface that with when I do it, because all right. So now I have some questions. Let's see. Okay, let me go back to, so I don't see any questions about the 3-2-1 method, so I'm going to go back to the non-related ones. Okay, not related to the marketing stuff. How do you record a deposit payment that includes a third-party fee, which is automatically deducted, resulting in the deposit being less than the invoice? Currently, I match the invoice and then account for the negative difference. Is there a more effective method? If you are in the gym, there is an exercise using PayPal as an example, because that's exactly what happens with PayPal. Okay, so if somebody pays via PayPal, the money that you actually get in your account is subtracted as a fee. So we have an exercise in there that walks you through actually how to do that. So it's a little bit beyond the scope of what we're talking about today, because what we're doing today is a little bit more basic. But there's a couple of ways that you can handle it. You can either on the deposit itself create a line item that has a negative amount that goes to the fee. That's probably what you're talking about. Depending on how often you do it, that's one way. The other way is to create a clearing account so that all of the money that comes in goes to this one spot, and then when you move money from that clearing account, like when you actually deposit it, if you're using PayPal, well, one of the things we say in that gym exercise is if you just are using PayPal as like a one-off kind of thing, then, like here and there, then that's a perfectly acceptable method, is to just use a negative line subtraction. If you are using it all the time, then you would want to set up an account for that. So you set up PayPal at kind of like as its own bank account, which is like the same as a clearing account. The difference, a clearing account basically means that it's a temporary account that gets cleared out. It's just a holding place that gets cleared out on a regular basis. Okay, so that's what a clearing account is, and so that's what you would do if you're doing it a lot. Okay, and then also if the transfers to the bank are consist of multiple deposits, that's what you would do. And then also the fees, you have to have it be like it's the total of the fees. So anyway, that's a little bit beyond what we're talking about today, but hopefully you know enough that helps. And we do talk about it in the gym. Okay. All right. Melissa says, how many different courses do you offer? Basic, advanced, cleanup courses. Okay. So you can go to fastandeasyqbo.com, and that is our course catalog. So you can see all of the courses that we offer. The certification courses are basic, advanced, and payroll, because those are the courses or those are the certifications that Intuit provides. With all of those, not payroll, with basic and advanced, you can also get a recertification subscription. And so every year that you have to recertify, you will get the new material that you need to pass the recertification. So those are certification related. Then we have the QBO gym, which is is fully focused on just hands-on practice being a bookkeeper. Like Joel said earlier, it's like the flight simulator for being a bookkeeper. You should treat it like it's your first client, because you're actually going to be with them for a year to go through all of their books. Okay. And then we have our newest course that we just released in January of this year is the cleanup course. So yeah. So all of that is on our website, fastandeasyqbo.com. And then Joel put in the chat, do you teach an enrolled agent course? And he specifically, why? Oh, I know why. I keep forgetting. I have to close it a different way. Okay. So yeah, so Joel put in, do you teach an enrolled agent course? And he put that in because I asked him to remind me. So I am super excited. So we have had so many requests over the years to teach enrolled agent. And which, if you don't know what enrolled agent is, it is a certification that is provided by the IRS. And when you are an IRS enrolled agent, that means that you are qualified to represent somebody else in front of the IRS. Okay, so you learn how to do taxes, and so now you can do taxes on behalf of other people, and not just do the taxes, but actually go before the IRS and argue and talk about the taxes and what's it called? Defend the way that the taxes have been calculated. Okay, so that's enrolled agent. And I have gotten so many requests over the years to do it, and I am not going to do it. But I have just within the last couple of weeks partnered with the very fine people at Hawk International. And Hawk International, I met Brian Hawk, who is the owner, founder of Hawk International. I met him at a conference, and he does exactly what we do, only for different certification exams. So he does EA, or actually he has, just like we have an arrangement with Corey, he has an arrangement with another woman to actually deliver the EA material, but he himself delivers the CMA, which is the Certified Management Accountant, the Certified Internal Auditor, the Certified Financial Auditor. I can't remember what they all are. Just like a ton. He does a ton of certification courses. We had some people, I will just tell you that he's not me. Okay. So he's not me, but he does break down all of the information. The reviews of the woman, I can't remember her name, who teaches the EA are amazing. That, the people just love her. And so they have given us a deal, a huge discount it's $127 discount, I think he said, for Fast and Easy QBO Fast and Easy QBO students who want to take his EA course. So it's $600. You have access to the materials for 18 months, and they guarantee, just like us, they guarantee that you pass. And he actually guarantees that I think he guarantees that you pass it on the first try. He hopes that you pass it on the first try, but anyway, it's HOCK, and Joel put it in the chat, but he can put it again. So the link that Joel is putting in the chat, I will put this in the resource. You guys are the first to hear it. Like this is hot off the presses. This just happened. And I forgot to put it in the newsletter this morning, so it'll be in the newsletter next week, and also we'll be putting it up on our resources page here in the next week. So right now, all we have is the link that Joel put in the chat. But what that does is that automatically puts the discounted course in your cart. Okay. And so anyway, so that's how you do it. Okay. So if you're interested in EA, we'll be talking about that more recently. I may bring him on. I may have I don't know. I don't know. I just get so many people requesting me for EA materials, and I'm never going to teach it. So I'm never going to teach it. We do have other stuff that's exciting that's coming up next year, as I mentioned in the beginning. Like, I'm super excited about, I cannot wait for what we're building. Okay. All right. Let me go back to, all right, so this is a question from Bella about the, or a comment about the, what we were talking about fees. So she says, excuse me. She says, I created an expense account to record the fee, which covers the difference since it's happening all the time. Excellent. Yes, you need to have an expense account for the fee. Thank you so much for answering my question. And yes, I have and love the QBO gym. All right. Excellent. So Bella, that's in February. So if you go into, I don't know how long you've had it, but if you go into the February warm-ups, you can click the link up at the top that says choose your workout, and that will show you everything rather than just rather than just going through it the way that it's presented to you. But you can go back to choose your workout, and then you can see February warm-ups is where we talk about how to record the PayPal transaction as a negative line item. Okay, so yes. So yay, so glad you love the gym. Oh, I keep closing it the wrong way. Okay, so the correct way to close that is to click this. That way I can put somebody else's. Okay. Melissa, you're welcome. Let's see. Okay, Uyi says, if I want to take on the cleanup course and I do the QBO gym and practice weekly with you, will this be sufficient skill level to do so? We do recommend that you have your advanced level certification. You don't have to have your certification, but the cleanup is an advanced course. So we don't, Corey doesn't like step back and explain like the bookkeeping stuff or the QBO stuff. Like she expects you to know that. And so she just dives right into the cleanup portion of it. So we do recommend that you have your advanced level certification. Certain things that are only covered in advanced, then you're not going to know when you go to the cleanup. If you buy the cleanup course, by the way, you do have an option to get a discounted advanced course. And it's a really big discount. It's like 50% off or something crazy. Not quite 50%, I think, but it is, it's a pretty big discount. So that's another option. Charlotte, how nice. Thank you. I appreciate that. Okay, let's see. Okay. All right. Chris, I'm glad you are excited about the partnership with Hawk. I will tell Brian that you're excited about it. I will just, again, I want to warn you, like he's not me. And so like we did have some people test out his materials. Although, again, I keep forgetting the EA course is not him. It's somebody else that and I can't remember her name. So hopefully you love her. But you do have, it's a huge test. It's a huge test. And you have 18 months to get through the material. He gave you 18 months because he recognized that a lot of people have full-time jobs and they are doing it, just in off hours. So, Lisa says, is there a discount on the payroll course with the cleanup course? You know what? There is not. But we should probably do that, because especially in the final project, there is some payroll to clean up, and we do expect you to know payroll. So, well, I'll think about doing that. You can, by the way, all of you guys, don't forget that you have a discount coupon. It's like 25% off if you have bought any of our courses. This doesn't count if you just have the free Getting Started course, but if you have purchased any of our courses, you automatically have a student discount on anything else. So that will give you a discount on payroll. All right, let's see. So Jack Reba, never know which one is here, but the Shipleys say you sit for 3 proctored exams, and they're an EA. Brian told me that the EAs know more than accountants when it comes to taxes. He said, so if you have an accountant doing your taxes, fire them and get an EA. So, all right. I think that is it, folks. Look, we held it to an hour and 35 minutes. That's pretty good. If we have any newbies on today, we haven't had anybody introduce themselves as, usually we have people that say, this is my first time, but everyone's on vacation. So, but for anybody who's new, like who may be watching on YouTube or whatever, I tend to talk a lot. You may have noticed. So I tend to talk a lot, and last week, like we were over 2 hours. It was crazy, but I am trying to keep it. I'm trying to keep it to an hour. If I can keep it to an hour and a half, then I'm doing pretty good. All right. So Bella, thank you. I'm gonna post that one so my YouTube folks can see. Thank you. I appreciate it. All right. Well, folks, I'm going to let you enjoy the rest of your holiday weekend. I'm excited for those of you who are here on a holiday weekend. We had a low turnout today, lower than usual, but still surprisingly high, I think, for it to be the Friday after the 4th of July. So anyway, Tracy says, thank you for the student discount. I wasn't aware of it. Just so you know, that is after you have gotten certified. So if you have one of our certification courses and you haven't finished it, you have to finish it and get certified, and then it will unlock the student discount for you. So, alrighty. Well, that's it, guys. I'm going to call it a day. And, well, not call it a day. I've got a lot of work today because, as I mentioned, I've got exciting stuff to plan. But I'm going to wrap up the podcast or the live stream for today and wish you a wonderful, we've got a last minute question coming in from Matthew. How much is the gym? It is $79 a month, and you can get an entire year, so you can pay for it monthly, or you can just get the year for $799. And I think that's right. Follow the links that Joel posted, or go to fastandeasyqbo.com. You can get a discount, as I said, if you have our student discount. So if you're already one of our students, you can use your student discount. Also, if you go through the gym challenge, which is a 5-day kind of try before you buy kind of thing, you can get a discount by going through the challenge too. So, all right. That's it. You guys have a great weekend. I will see you on Monday for Mindset Monday. I've got a good one planned. So I will see you then. Have a great weekend. I can't wait to hear your success story.